Good morning, Malacañang Press Corps. Happy Monday. Good morning, Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque.
Good morning, Rocky. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the Malacañang Press Corps at magandang umaga po sa buong Pilipinas. Monday good news. Well, we welcome po the April 2018 report on the McKinsey Global Institute entitled The Power of Parity, Advancing Women's Equality in Asia Pacific na nagsasabi po na ang Pilipinas po ang pinakamagaling na performer in the region on gender equality in work. So the country was commended for performing best on women's participation in professional and technical jobs with female to male ratio of 1.42, reflecting that more women are in those positions than men, and lastly on leadership positions with a female to male ratio of 0.96. Now, as these figures highlight the gains in the private sector, the Duterte administration will seek to do better in the public sector by implementing the Magna Carta of Women, which states that women in the third level or managerial posts in government shall be incrementally increased to achieve a 50-50 gender balance. We are pleased to announce that the Land Transportation Office is now offering online services to the public. 4 LTO districts have now opened online renewal of driver's license and motor vehicles registration. These districts are in Pasig, Muntinlupa, and Novaliches. Interested motorists will have to accomplish a form and schedule an appointment in their website. After the online processing, actual appearance at the district office is still required to complete the application. Now, the Business Monitor International Research, a group of the Fitch Group, reported that it has moved its gross domestic product projection for the Philippines to 6.5% from its previous projection of 6.3%. BMI Research attributed the positive outlook on the country's economy to government consumption of fixed capital formation, both of which were driven by the Duterte administration's expansionary fiscal policy. This shows that the government is on track to achieving its target GDP expansion of 7% or higher through the implementation of train and substantial spending in big-ticket infrastructure projects through the Build program. Questions?
MPC questions? Joseph Morong.
Prepared ka naman, sir. Game. Over the weekend, I think the U.S. Pacific Command hosted our Secretary CES and then CSFA and sila DND. Who initiated that meeting?
I have no information on who initiated
Ka
that
naman prepared ka.
meeting. I'm prepared to answer questions on
No,
the supposed presence of bombers
But
in
before we go there,
the West Philippine Sea.
the meeting with the Pacific Command, what
I
do we know
not
about
know who
that?
initiated that. No,
Okay.
all I know is from the Middle East, the Secretary of Foreign Affairs flew to Hawaii, where he was expected to be joined by the Executive Secretary, the Defense Secretary, and that they were going to meet with the Admiral of the Asia Pacific Fleet. No? And of course, the United States has stationed almost the entirety of its overseas fleet to Asia now. No? It's so-called pivot to Asia.
What does it mean now in the context of our issues now with the WPS in South China Sea?
Well, I can only surmise that the visit is intended to reassure the United States that while we are pursuing an independent foreign policy, we have not actually um, um, we have not abandoned our traditional ally, the United States. That it's probably to reassure that we value the continued friendship and security cooperation that we have had with the United States throughout the years.
Remember, the president said that if China's building up their whatever, facilities there, it's not going to be used against the Philippines and probably maybe against an American influence. Now we have this meeting with the Asia Pacific Command. Where are we exactly?
I don't know what the question is, but ang sagot ko po dyan, siguro yung pagpupulong, para nga lang po mabigyan ng assurance sa mga Amerikano na habang tayo po ay nagiging independyente sa ating panglabas na relasyon, nariyan pa rin yung pagbigay ng importansya sa ating pagkakaibigan din sa mga Amerikano.
Are they worried? Is the U.S. worried about our close relationship with
Hindi ko
China?
po alam. Perhaps the White House press secretary can answer that.
Okay, sir, sa bombers yan. You're prepared.
Well, alam nyo naman po, the issue of the bombing, the presence of supposed bombers. No? Unang-una po, again, we have no independent verification. No? But nonetheless, we take note of the reports that appeared, and we express our serious concerns anew on its impact on constructive efforts to maintain peace and stability in the region. Now, we also would like to highlight an ASEAN declaration, a statement that was adopted in the recent summer in Singapore. And this reiterates the importance of non-militarization and self-restraint in the conduct of activities that could further complicate the situation in the West Philippine Sea. Now, the Philippines reaffirms the need to enhance mutual trust and confidence, avoid actions that would escalate tensions, and peaceful resolutions of disputes in accordance with international law, including the 1982 UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. And like the other issues that have been reported by a major daily, we will bring this issue again in the bilateral mechanism that we have agreed upon with China. This bilateral mechanism meets twice a year, and I was told that there will be a scheduled meeting for the second quarter, possibly in June, but not yet confirmed. So the matter will be brought up in the bilateral mechanism that we have established on the West Philippine Sea, specifically with China.
In other words, hindi baliwala itong mga actions ng China sa
Hindi
atin.
po, hindi naman po. Hindi naman po natin binabaliwala. As the DFA has said, hindi naman po pwede na lahat ng issue on foreign relations ay nag-iingay tayo.
How much is too much?
I don't know, but as I said, we view it with very serious concern.
Okay, question? Follow up? Dexter Ganibe.
Sir, good morning.
Good morning.
Sir, follow up lang dun sa issue sa West Philippine Sea. Last week din nakipagpulong si National Security Advisor, Esperon, sa kanyang mga counterparts sa Russia. At ito yung kasagsagan ng init ng issue dun sa West Philippine Sea. May kinalaman po ba dun?
Well, malinaw naman po ang ating bagong pulisiya, di ba? An independent foreign policy means we want to be friends with all the states, with all the stakeholders. We will not take sides, but the recent steps perhaps taken to meet with U.S. officials is only to highlight that the independent foreign policy does not mean we are abandoning our traditional friendship and alliance with the United States. We have not.
Kasi po ang China is, at saka Russia medyo malapit din. May pakiusap ba tayo sa Russia na pakiusapan ng China na maglaylo sa
Wala
West
po
Philippine Sea?
akong pagkakaalam. Ang alam ko lang lahat kinakaibigan natin. At dahil nga dito sa bagong pagkakaibigan sa mga bansang Russia, sa bansang China, sa bansang India, even Australia and Japan, napakadami na po nating inaani, lalong-lalo na pagdating sa ating ekonomiya.
Thank you, sir.
Question? Follow up? Ina Andolong.
Hi, sir. Sir, is there any way for us to sort of invoke or use our alliance with the U.S. to possibly address the situation in the South China Sea, considering or especially amid itong ongoing militarization of China?
In the absence of an actual attack, the Mutual Defense Treaty is inapplicable because ang kailangan po doon is there be an actual armed attack on the Philippine territory or any of the islands. Now, yung build-up lang po, hindi po pwede maging basihan yan. At ang problema nga po, sinabi lang ng Presidente over the weekend, gustuhin man natin na mag-ingay diyan sa issue ng China, ang Estados Unidos naman, pagdating sa mga pinag-aagawang mga isla, ang palaging punto de vista ay hindi sila nakikialam sa agawan ng teritoryo. So hindi rin maasahan naman ang Estados Unidos pagdating sa issue ng West Philippine Sea na pinag-aagawang teritoryo.
Sir, you mentioned earlier yung ASEAN declaration which reiterates the call
Statement.
for reiterating yung non-militarization or self-restraint. What many are waiting for is for the government or the Philippines to actually address a similar statement to China. Are we addressing?
That's a common statement of ASEAN. And we voted for the statement. So that's a collective stand of ASEAN. And I think in dealing with China, it's best that we speak as one as ASEAN. So that's why we are reiterating the ASEAN statement, no? Calling for non-militarization and self-restraint in the conduct of activities in the West Philippine Sea.
So we will be taking the approach of coming from the ASEAN and not, let's say, a statement from the Philippines directly to China.
Well, right now, it appears unnecessary to issue an independent statement because the entire region, at least the 10 member states of ASEAN, have agreed on that statement.
Follow-up questions on China? Other issue? No more? Joseph.
Si dating NSA, si Secretary Goles, parang sabi niya, dapat daw i-convene na yung National Security Cluster. Do you think there is a need in the face of all these developments?
Well, it's the president's call, really. No?
Okay.
And right now, the president does not see any immediate threat. As I said, we do not consider China to be a threat to our security right now because of our newfound friendship with China.
Follow-up question? Other issue? Malacañang. Ralph? Microphone Ina, please.
Hello po.
Yes, Ralph.
Ano po? Sorry po. Would you know po yung mga sinasabi po ni President na alisin daw po?
I was waiting for instruction and authority. I know only of one, but I figure it's not good to announce on a Monday. We might announce tomorrow, Tuesday. Because it's the beginning of the week, it's Good News Monday. No, I was not furnished the names, and I was not given authority to announce. There was no authority to divulge even the one name that I have, and there are no other names. No, usually, the president himself will authorize me, please announce. And I think the reason is he would rather that officials voluntarily resign. So it is, siguro na lang let's leave it at this. Marami ng mga nag-resign quietly because they were asked to go. But yung mga kinakailangan sabihan na mag-resign are those who have not resigned despite notice for them to do so. So the president, I suppose, no, would want to give them a chance to voluntarily leave their positions.
Sir Pia.
But honestly, I only know of one name.
Pia Gutierrez, please.
Sir, from what agency?
Let's wait for tomorrow. Sandali lang naman yan, no? 24 hours lang yan, no? Come on.
But isn't that good news against corruption, sir?
Well, of course, it's always good news. But there must be a reason why I was not authorized to announce it. Believe you me, as soon as I'm authorized, we will announce it.
Sir, on the similar topic, Tourism Secretary Bernadette Romulo Puyat has given her undersecretaries and assistant secretaries until today to resign. Number one, sir, is the palace supportive of this call?
Very supportive. Of course, all cabinet secretaries, especially those who had just been appointed, enjoy full trust and confidence of the president. And we would want them to have a fresh start, and we would want them to pick their own management team so that they can be the most effective in their jobs.
So, sir, we have heard about may mga names na pong naririnig na magre-resign today. But for those who will not resign, will the palace also pressure these officials to heed the secretary's call?
Let's wait for the end of the day. Baka naman lahat sila mag-resign.
Last na lang, sir, what is the president saying about the new DOT secretary's pronouncement on supposed corruptions in the DOT?
She was appointed with express mandate to do good and to fight corruption. And she's doing just that. The president is very pleased.
Follow up? Ina Andulong.
Sir, you will announce yung isang name tomorrow. Tama?
Hindi ko alam kung bibigyan na ako ng authority to announce.
Sinabi mo
Believe
na
it or not, I always have to be authorized,
Okay.
you know?
But you said that the president is also giving the others a chance to voluntarily leave. Up to when is that?
I don't
Especially
know.
since
Maybe
may
it's as
sinabi na siyang
early as
5.
tomorrow. It's
Hanggang
as early
bukas
as
na
tomorrow.
lang.
I don't know. I'm speculating now. But I intentionally came out later than 11 because I gave notice that I'm about to begin with my press con and there is no advice as of yet. So I take it will have to wait till tomorrow.
There are reports saying na mula daw po sa PAGCOR. Is that true?
I read it in a newspaper, so I know as much as you do. But this happened over the weekend. Apparently, there were officials who went to Cebu to lobby, and the president did not like that. But I have no other information other than what has been reported. Yeah.
Questions?
That's. I just read it in the papers like you. Yes.
Ina, follow up. Joseph,
Corrupt people gets to lobby with the president.
Well, I don't know if corrupt people gets to lobby, but he did not like, apparently, based on newspaper reports, he did not like the fact that certain quarters were lobbying.
Lobbying for what? Like to stay in the position?
No, I think the newspaper said they were lobbying for gambling interests, for casino
Ah.
interests. No, yes.
Sir,
And the president has been firm.
So
No
far-
to new casinos
anywhere,
anywhere in the Philippines.
even in the Philippine rice. Huh? Sir, but these are appointees of the president, right?
Well, yes. Unfortunately, he has lamented the fact na kung sino pa yung malalapit sa kanya dahil tumulong sa eleksyon, sila pa yung mga sinisisanti niya ngayon dahil sa korupsyon. So nalulungkot nga po ang presidente, pero it shows na seryoso po ang presidente sa kampanya laban sa korupsyon. Walang sinasanto kung sino pang malakas, kung sino pang malapit, yun po naunang masiba.
questions? Wala nang issue? Other issue?
Marami akong issue.
For
Oh,
Tuesday
sige.
na yan, for tomorrow.
Si Joseph daw,
Yung office ko
ma-question
maraming issue. Dahil joke lang. May mga pinapa-follow up na, sir. Si Agot Isidro daw is one of the senatorial candidates ng LP.
No information po.
But if she is, in-announce naman, sir. Reaction?
Good luck to them.
Okay. Yun lang.
Yun lang.
Okay.
Question? No more? MPC? Hannah? Okay na? Oh,
See you tomorrow then, ha?
Christine,
Ito, meron pa. Si
Question on
Christine.
Civic po yan.
Si Christine magtatanong pa ba? Maganda yung aking statement sa West Philippine Sea, di ba?
Christina
Oo.
Vendano.
So West Philippine Sea, just to clarify lang, you said that we also expressed concern dun sa Chinese bombers, and yet you said China is not a threat to us. So how could you reconcile those two statements?
I've said it before, even if we don't feel that China is a security threat to us, for as long as there are weapons there could be mistakes in the discharge of these weapons, and any threat of the use of force in one of the world's busiest sea lanes, which happens also to be the sea lane where our oil supply passes through and bulk of our exports and imports pass through, is a reason for concern to us.
Yung dun sa, all these resignations and yung maraming umaalis, ano yun sir, parang may purging ba? Or nagkataon lang that
No, seryoso lang talaga ang presidente kung corrupt ka, umalis ka, kahit sino ka pa. Yun.
Joseph. Ina, follow up ba?
So are we just gonna wait and just watch China expand their militarization in disputed areas?
Wrong assumption. We're not waiting.
No, I'm asking if
No,
that's
we're not
going to be,
waiting.
because you said that there's no threat yet because they're just there. Wala namang ginagalaw. But obviously, they're building up something there for eventual use. Are we doing something to prevent that from
We
happening?
are. We're addressing it diplomatically. Ang posisyon ng DFA, hindi naman nila kinakailangan pangalandakan sa publiko kung anong ginagawa nila because obviously diplomatic communication and relations and negotiations is subject to exception to freedom of information. And likewise, of course, we've always expressed serious concerns. It's not as if we take it sitting down. But again, we go back to what the president has said, the realities, no? That they are there.
Ace Romero, on China? Other issue? Sino may follow-up sa China? Joseph muna.
Balik na naman tayo sa China.
Of course. Sir, yung sa bombers, di ba, Vietnamese claimed yun. I mean, ang nag-overlap doon China and Vietnam,
Paracels.
right? Paracels. Now, can China land any of its bomber planes in the territories that we claim?
Well, can you please ask China, no? Because they control the islands. And they have 3 artificial islands in areas which, according to the arbitral tribunal, fall within our exclusive economic zone.
Now, if they do, what are we going to do?
We will again exert diplomatic initiatives. Obviously, we're in no position to physically stop them, but we will take all initiatives open to us.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Ace, wala nang follow-up sa China. Ace Romero, then Hannah.
Secretary, just just for the record, sabi ni President Duterte he will dismiss 5 officials, and then he mentioned a head of agency na apparently nagbigay ng maraming lease contracts or franchise. Then meron pa siyang binabanggit na gaming officials, and then may binabanggit pa siyang fraternity brad. So ilan po talaga yung maaalis sa pwesto?
I think yung binanggit niyang fraternity Brad, isa na yung sa Assistant Secretary which we've announced. Hindi ko
Okay.
lang alam who amongst the two is his fraternity Brad. No?
Okay.
But as I said, I'm awaiting instructions to make further announcements in this regard.
So more than 5 definitely.
Well, the President mentioned 5 over the weekend, so I'm asking for the names of the 5.
5, kasama na ba yung head of agency na sinasabi niya? Or kasama na yun sa 5?
Again, I know as much as you do. Baka 5 lang po yun.
Okay, thank you, Secretary.
Hannah?
Morning, Sec. Sir,
Yes,
dun sa
good morning.
speech ni President Duterte sa Cebu, nagpakita po siya ng matrix. Clarify lang po namin kung hindi kasi pinangalanan yung priest na sinabi doon. Kung si Father Mark po yung nasa picture na pinakita po ni President Duterte.
Titignan ko po.
Pero,
Tomorrow naman, meron din tayong press briefing or hindi masasagot ko yan. Please remind me, ha? Yun, titignan ko po kung sino yung picture na yan.
Sir, nag-express po si Joma Sisa na dahil may substantial moves na daw yung peace talks na baka bumalik na po siya ng Pilipinas. May plano po ba ang government na tumulong yung pag-process ng pagbalik niya na?
The President has said he will take steps to ensure that he can come back to the country. He will guarantee his safety. He will probably even absorb the costs for Joma Season to come home and participate in the peace talks.
Okay. No more? No more question? Okay, thank
Okay.
you, Malacañang
See
Press
you tomorrow.
Thank you, Presidential Spokesperson
Thank you.
Harry Roque, back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television Network.